On the popular sci-fi series Doctor Who, the time traveler the Doctor has had many companions. Many of them have been strong-willed, independent characters like Clara Oswald, River Song, Ace, and Sarah Jane Smith. But as far as the Doctor goes, all of his regenerations have been men. We discussed this topic at the Daily Fandom. The idea of a woman doctor has excited many people, while others haven't been so keen. While fans are all over the spectrum with their opinions, even those involved with the show's production have had their say on the matter, and they can't even agree. Let's tackle all sides of this topic. Some of the idea's biggest proponents have been the show's current stars Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, who, when presented with the question on several occasions, have been nothing but favorable of the idea. At the Women Who Kick Ass Comic-Con panel this year, Jenna Coleman said, "I think it's absolutely possible. There's absolutely no reason why not." The Doctor himself has been equally favorable of the idea, telling the Press Association during this year's Comic-Con press run, "I would expect so at some point. I think why not? Absolutely." But while the current Doctor has no objection to a lady taking the TARDIS's helm at some point, some past Doctors haven't been so keen on the idea, citing the show's dynamics as the primary concern. Seventh Doctor Sylvester McCoy told The Mirror in July, "I'm a feminist and recognize there are still glass ceilings in place for many women. But where would we draw the line? A Mr. Marple instead of Miss Marple? A Tarzanette? I'm sorry, but no. Doctor Who is a male character, just like James Bond. If they changed it to be politically correct, then it would ruin the dynamics between the Doctor and the assistant, which is a popular part of the show." Also citing James Bond as a character model for the Doctor was 5th Doctor Peter Davison, who on numerous occasions has declared his concern over the idea. Back in 2013, he told The Telegraph, "I don't like the idea of the Doctor having a sex change. It's not as if you would have a female James Bond." Davison elaborated further on his argument against the idea this year in an ABC Australia interview, saying, "Personally, and I speak now as a fan who grew up watching it, I have trouble with the idea of a female Doctor, only because I reckon if you were born on Gallifrey a man, you probably are a male Time Lord." Davison went on to state that he has no problem with a female Time Lord. In fact, his real-life daughter, Georgia Moffat, played just that in the 4th series episode opposite 10th Doctor David Tennant, who is now her real-life husband. The big issue, he states, is the shift in dynamic between the Doctor and his companion that a gender switch may likely cause. "My feeling about it, although I know this can be controversial, is very much what you have with the modern Doctors is a slightly unsure, uncertain, troubled Doctor with a very strong female companion. And it seems to me if you reverse that, if you have an uncertain, troubled, or fallible female Doctor with a really strong male companion, you've got more of a stereotype than anything else." Now people can assume that current showrunner Stephen Moffat has been the least clear in his opinion on the matter. But in fact, his responses to it have been quite telling. At a BAFTA celebration earlier this year, Moffat argued that there's an aspect to it where you could say that if you made the Doctor female, you'd lose a fairly unique, rare role model. I'm not sure if I'm completely persuaded by that argument, purely because I don't think the Doctor is the role model of Doctor Who. He's off the spectrum, barking mad, from space, and has lots of mysterious abilities that we do not. How do you base yourself on that? The role model is actually the other character, his best friend, the person who deals with this out-of-control, overgrown schoolboy racing around the universe being rather too imperious and too interfering for his own good. That is not to say he's ruled out a female Doctor, but his priority as the showrunner lies in finding the best candidate for the role. It's not an impossibility to have a lady Doctor. It's not a lock either. There is no guarantee. I wish sometimes that the politics of that would take a back seat and we just talk about the art, but it's not really about that. It's just about, would it work? Confirmed by Moffat himself, there is no restriction regarding gender when it comes to Time Lord regeneration. We know this because the Master turned into Missy in Series 8. But one primary thing needs to be taken into account. The Doctor himself has seen countless lifetimes worth of heartbreak, loss, sorrow, life, and death. And each person that takes up the torch of the Doctor carries an increasingly heavier story with them. In order for the story and the character to be given the proper respect that it deserves, the right person needs to be in the role regardless of their gender. Is a female capable of taking on this heavy story and possibly writing a new chapter in the Doctor's tale? Absolutely. It's an absolute possibility. But it has to be the right person. And if the right person for the role, the person that can bring the performance that the role deserves, that the story deserves, just happens to be of the male persuasion, then so be it. What matters is who can best tell the story that needs to be told. But let's dream for a minute. Who would make a good female Doctor? Many names have been tossed around by fans and cast, and many of the names already have ties to the Doctor Who universe. Former companion in Bad Wolf, Billie Piper, was one of the names suggested. Another has been Olivia Colman, who teamed up with 10th Doctor David Tennant for the BBC drama series Broadchurch, and has also appeared in 11th Doctor episode The 11th Hour. More recently, Agent Carter's Hayley Atwell threw her hat into the ring when she responded to a fan's inquiry on Twitter about her interest in being on the show. She proclaimed, "I'd like to be Doctor Who." She has already proven her ability to portray a strong lead character in a television show with Peggy Carter. All she'd have to do is switch out her signature red hat with a fez. But she may have some competition in Dame Helen Mirren, who told the Daily Star back in 2011, "I would like to play the new female Doctor Who. I don't want to just be his sidekick." So there's no shortage of women wanting to pilot the TARDIS someday. But the question remains, should a female take over the role of the Doctor? An interesting take on the matter comes from the showrunner himself, who was quoted at the aforementioned BAFTA celebration as saying, "The women in this show have always been hugely strong, and have always been kind of the main character. I know I get in trouble all the time for saying this, but you cannot make a show about a man who sort of doesn't really change, apart from his face and a dark personality, who sort of has no interior life, who is unimpressed by everything. You have to make it about the person he has the relationship with." So while the Doctor may have his name in the show's title, perhaps the strongest and most affecting of the characters isn't the Gallifreyan with the ability to manipulate time and space, but the human he chooses to stand beside, the human that keeps him grounded, keeps him aware of humanity. But what are your thoughts on the matter? Drop us a comment below, or catch us on our website at thedailyfandom.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, so like, share, retweet, and reblog, and let us know what you think. After all, it's about you, the fans. Until next time, I'm TC Robson. Stay obsessed.